you got a 300D, you got some green fringing, this is a free fix for that. There has been some talk amongst the people who own a 300D that there's some green fringing around the edges of the light source. And Aputure has a fix for that, which is cool. It's basically this. First, I want to determine if we have the green fringe. Then, without moving the light, I'm going to change this, and then we're going to see if that fixes it. That's pretty cool that they did that. So first, let's turn on the 300D. That's at 10%. This thing is a crazy, just crazy bright. Okay, I'm just saying, this light is really bright. Here's 10%. Yeah. Let's turn off the internal lights here so we can see what we got. Okay, so the only thing that's going is the 300D, and it's pointed at least a 45 or 50 degree angle. It's not even pointing on this, but this is the fringe. It's lighting way over there. I see the fringe. Can you see that? Now watch what happens when I turn up. Let's turn it down. You can see a little bit of fringing in here. It's a little bit green, it's not too bad. It's usually when it's up here at 100%. Let's turn it down a little. Whoa. Right about there. That's what I see at about 50%. So I see most of it. Up high, I don't see it so much. All the way down low, I don't see it so much. So I'd say about 50% really shows. You can see how it's white over here and then it starts getting a little green on here. Now, I just gotta say, let me turn this off. I just gotta say, if you're, I get why you'd worry about green fringe, but if you're at this light and you're trying to light something over here and the light's pointed over there, I don't know, maybe a giant white screen from far back you get green fringe. I'll buy that. But anyway, it's cool that they did it. So let's, without moving this, let's do this fix and see what we get. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and we're gonna replace this guy here with this guy here. And let me show you how to do that. You need to take, supplied screwdriver by the way, thanks guys. Take the screw out. There's another screw over here. Try not to move the unit so I can do the fringe test. And there's a screw down here at the bottom. You gotta be careful because one of these screws, I believe it's the top left screw here, is shorter than the others. So you kind of want to keep track of that because you want to put it back together the same way, because you don't want to have those kind of problems. And then this releases off. And you watch, you see what's happening here. There are these little gold things. They go on the screws. Those are all the same size. Okay. Now over here, if you'll notice, when I turn it sideways, this screw, this is a shorter screw. There's two longer screws here and here and here. You want to keep that orientation the same. You don't want to mess that up. And this may come apart. This is part of the inner circle. Don't worry about it. All right, so now, you don't want to touch all this stuff. So there are two screws that are locking this in place. One's here. By the way, did I tell you maybe you want to make sure that the unit is off and unplugged before you do something like this? Because inside here it gets hot. It's not a hot unit, but inside here it gets hot. These are really tight screws. We're definitely going to orient this the same way. There's, as you see, there's a pilot hole, a screw hole, another hole up here that matches. There's a pilot hole up here. There's another, this is for releasing the front cover. And you just want to make sure that you don't mess that up and forget how this thing goes on. So I'm going to set it right there like that. let's get these two little screws out. There's one on each side. Let's pull this off. Make sure we know what we're doing. They're long screws. You don't want to touch that. Do not touch that. Do not mess with that. Don't put your fingers on it. Don't try and clean it off. Just leave it the hell alone. Okay, good. So now what we want to do is we want to do the same thing, same orientation. They're nearly across from each other. Now notice the pilot holes. This pilot hole goes there. You can usually get that in. Okay, nice and tight. Firm and tight. You don't want to strip the head of the screw out. What happens if you come back one day and you need to replace this again and you strip the screws out? Not going to be fun. Just tighten it until it lands on the bottom right there. All right. So this is the old unit. This is the new unit. It's got this protector on here. Thank you. A little X on it, which is cool. I know which one is which. I don't get them mixed up. That goes back. And remember, we have long screws. We have short screws. So you don't want to drop that. Each of these screws gets this little brass spacer like that. And now, there we go. Now we're going to use these holes to put it back together. Just got to make sure that spacer's in there. You find that hole. That's good. That one started. Again, just till they're snug. You don't want to bear down on these and strip the heads. Snug them all down, just going to check. That's good. That's good. All right. So now that's the replacement cover. I'm going to put this back on like that. And I want to make sure I remove this little plastic guy. Now I didn't move much, but let's see what happens when we go back and test this out and see if we got a green fringe connection fixer thing after all that work and replacing this. By the way, thanks for the screwdriver. I can use this. Okay, I didn't move this at all. It's still at the same degrees. Big question of the day is this little new thing. I don't know what's different about it. I was kind of looking at the other one. I don't know. But let's see. Let's turn this thing on. I don't see anything. It's still set at 50. Let's turn off our lights and see what we got here. Wow. Check it out. Remember that other green that was sitting here? This is white. It comes over here. I don't see any green over here at all. It may look a little green because of my camera. I don't see any green at all. Yeah, I got nothing. That is perfectly acceptable. You got a problem with the fringing or anything like that from Aputure? You need one of these. And guess what? They sent me a link where you can enter your serial number and your model and everything else, and they will send this to you with a handy dandy screwdriver and the instructions to fix your light. That's customer service. I appreciate it, and thank you, Aputure. That's just awesome. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Here's a quick and free green fringe fix. Green fringe fix. Green fringe fix. She sells seashells by the green fringe fix.